Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-free review of Ignite by Lily Paradis. And this book was sent to me by her publisher for review consideration. Ignite is a YA/new adult contemporary story, and it follows our main character Lauren, and her dad had died a few years ago, and her stepmother at the beginning of the story actually has passed away, and she left the custody of her 3 children to Lauren. Also, there is a mysterious neighbor boy named Dean that is involved in the story as well, and the whole thing kind of takes off from there. First, let me talk about the writing. I found the writing in this a little clunky and very episodic. So it was written in a way that an event would happen, and then an event would happen, and then an event would happen. It was very, very clunky and didn't really flow as well as other stories that I have read in the same genre. Also, the timeline in this is a very short timeline. The events in this story happen over the course of just a few weeks, maybe about a month tops, and I think that kind of contributed to how clunky it did feel, because a lot of things end up happening in that very short amount of time, and it just didn't really feel realistic. Next, let me talk about our characters. Our main character, Lauren, I really couldn't form any kind of attachment to. I did feel for her situation because she is in a very hard situation for a girl who's only 21 years old, but I just couldn't really get behind a lot of the things that she was doing. For the most part, it seemed like her feelings and thoughts really revolved around her feelings for Dean, and it didn't really feel realistic to me. Honestly, if her life had been thrown upside down in this really crazy way, I feel like she would be spending a lot less of her time thinking about if she did or didn't like this boy. Also, there are different aspects of her character that weren't really explored as well as I think they could have been. For example, Lauren is a twin, which is mentioned, and you actually do get to see her twin at one point in this story, but I'm really used to characters that are twins being more bonded to their twin and being a twin being a big deal, and I just really didn't get anything from that. I didn't really understand the distance there, and I felt like if it's going to be a twin, that the character should be a little more bonded than that. Next, I want to talk about Dean, which is our male lead. Again, I didn't really connect to him at all, and I just really didn't like him as a character. I have said before that contemporary bad boys I just really am not a fan of in general, but even Dean really didn't fall in the bad boy category for me. Honestly, I felt like he was supposed to be more of a bad boy, but I just didn't really get that image from him. In a lot of ways, he was really too good to be true. You know, he was rich and good looking and even though he was supposed to be very distant, and it was brought up that he was kind of a distant personality, he really fell into the relationship aspects very easily for somebody who is supposed to be very distant. So I just really couldn't get behind Dean as a character. He was just really, really too good to be true. Also, another pet peeve of mine, which might not be a pet peeve of yours, but whenever you have a character who is supposedly so good looking that any member of the opposite sex flails over him at any point they come in contact with him, waitresses, retail staff, bus drivers, whatever, it just doesn't seem realistic to me. Like, are women really that out of control of their emotions that even though a guy is walking past with another girl that they just have to like throw themselves at him? I've never seen that happen. Even to like our most hunkiest hunks in Hollywood, like Brad Pitt and stuff. Like, I just don't think that's realistic. So I just found him to just not be a very believable character. I just could not suspend my disbelief for him. I did enjoy the interactions that Lauren has with her step-siblings, and I found the kids to be very enjoyable characters, but again, I found that they were just kind of stereotypes of their different age groups, and I just really couldn't connect to any of them either, although I found them very cute, and I found their interactions very believable. They were also believable in a more stereotypical way. Next, I want to talk about the plot. I found that there were a lot of plot holes. I'm not sure why that is, but I do know there is a companion novel to this that takes place in Dean's perspective, so maybe a lot of those holes were patched up in that story, but I found for something being a standalone that a lot of things were left unanswered and were just very confusing, and I didn't feel like that was really necessary. Also, as you may have guessed, there was a lot of insta-love in this story. Although both our main characters are supposed to be very guarded people, they did fight a lot of that a lot, but I just felt like the insta-love was too much for me. And even though they didn't necessarily fall into a relationship automatically, it was very obvious that they were going to be together eventually, and the fighting back and forth of, I can't do this, and now I can't do this, and now I can't do this, I just found very, very unbelievable. And it got very annoying for me as somebody who doesn't enjoy insta-love, and also as somebody who just doesn't enjoy characters that are so wishy-washy and so hot and cold all the time. So overall, I just really couldn't suspend my disbelief for this story, the way that it was written and how it was very episodic and how so many big things happened in a matter of weeks. And the insta-love, I just couldn't really suspend my disbelief for this story, so I ended up giving it 2.5 stars. I'm also not a huge fan of contemporary in general. I'm trying to find more contemporaries that I do enjoy, but as of late, I haven't been able to find a lot of them. They are just really coming up short for me. So that could have something to do with it. If you really enjoy contemporary stories, you might very, very much enjoy this. If you like more of the kind of like family drama TV shows, like Seventh Heaven or Now 210 or those kind of shows, you might really enjoy this because that might appeal to some of that. But for me, it just wasn't a contemporary story that I personally enjoyed. Alright guys, that is it for the review. Comment down below, let me know if you've read the story and if you have enjoyed it, and if you have any contemporary recommendations for me. I'm really trying to find more contemporary novels that I enjoy, but I'm just not having any luck lately. So if you have any recommendations for me, please post them down below and I will for sure check them out. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!